started so everybody can get back to their matches. And if you can't hear me, just yell at me. I don't have a big voice, so I'll try to speak loud. Tonight we will honor the accomplishments of some of the best in our game, including the top 10 point leaders from the 2024 USBGF online master points race, the top 10 points earners from the 2024 ABT points race, and the top 5 points earners from the 2024 ABT Advanced Intermediate points race. We will also honor 2 Giants of Backgammon, and finally our Hall of Fame inductees. I'd like to begin the evening by remembering Bill Davis, who recently passed away. Bill holds a special place in competitive backgammon in America. Bill's accomplishments were organizing and directing tournaments in Chicago. He published a newsletter, organized backgammon cruises, and operated the website chicagopoint.com. Most significantly, Bill created the American Backgammon Tour in 1993. The next issue of Primetime Backgammon magazine will feature a story about Bill. So it'd be a good idea for everyone to sign up for their subscription to Primetime tonight. Next, I'd like to introduce people who make the USBGF and the American Backgammon Tour work. Without these folks, we wouldn't have an organization. They do a lot of their work quietly behind the scenes, and we have a lot of them, and most of them are volunteers. These are our staff, our committee members, and our board of directors. I ask that as I call your name, please stand and stay standing until I'm finished with all the people that we're going to acknowledge tonight. And I also ask that everyone hold their applause until we're finished. First, I'd like to recognize Dan Marty, our Chief Operating Officer. Dan's never had applause before. Dan is a special guy in the organization. He's the guy that keeps the sand out of the bearings so nothing squeaks. Dan, we really appreciate you being here. Next is Stuart Steen Connolly. Stand up.
No clapping.
No.
He said no clapping.
Stu, stay up. Stu just joined us a few months ago. And he's Stu.
Quiet on the set.
Stu joined us a few months ago, and he's made a big splash already. I'm really glad to have him. He's a ball of energy, and it's great to have some new blood in the organization. Ed Corey's our membership director. Ed let me know this afternoon that we're going to hit 3,000 members this afternoon. That's a big deal. I think we were at about 1,200, maybe 1,150 5 years ago. So we've come a long way. Julius High and Tom Jane are our novice education people. Julius. Michael Messick is our Chief Technology Officer. Ben Friesen, are you here, Ben?
He says,
Ben?
stand up, Ben.
Ben's the only guy taller than me, so I gotta respect him.
Well, you can't come up to the podium.
Ben is our treasurer and our bookkeeper. Martin Thurman, he runs our online tournaments. Rich Munitz. Rich Munitz is a big guy here. He develops, he's an important guy here. He develops our online tournament system, and he has put us into the 21st century. Jason Briggs, who's in charge of fundraising and beneficial giving. Marty Storer, executive editor of Primetime Backgammon magazine. Karen Davis, editorial contributor to Primetime. Chris Hoyer is our production editor for Primetime. Bill Lonergan is our local club support. Jed Horton is our chief financial officer. And Candace Marin, special projects. I'm her special project. Hall of Fame. We have our committees. Our first one we're going to talk about is the Hall of Fame. Joe Russell is the chair. Joe, are you? You're there? Joe does a phenomenal job every year. He does a good job of herding the cats and keeping everybody online. So thank you, Joe. Other people on the committee are Patrick Gibson, Neil Kazaros, Frank Talbot. Is Frank here?
Frank's over there.
Frank? Patrick, thank you. Karen Davis, Jake Jacobs, and Kate Goulding.
Art bench.
And Art's in the in the Legacy Committee, correct? Go ahead. I was going to announce that later, but that's wrong on my part. Art and, gosh, sorry.
That's it, Ken Gould that you mentioned.
Okay. Governance and nominating, Antoinette Marie Williams. Rules and Ethics, Frank Talbot, Jeb Horton, Neil Kazaros, and Rich Munitz. Eligibility, Rory Paskar is our chair, Ian Terry, Roberto Litzenberger, and Dmitry Lubakov. The Calendar Committee, Jonas Seawald, Roberto Litzenberg, Joe Urso, and Jeff Proctor. And then finally, our Board of Directors, Kara Schultz, who's our chair. Kara. Me, President and Executive Director, Dan Minardi, Ben Friesen, April Messick, Antoinette Marie Williams, Rory Paskar, Jason Briggs, Ian Terry, Alex Ashigan, where's Alex? And Rich Munitz. These are the folks that make the USBGF tick and run. And without them, we would not be an organization. And you'll notice that a number of people are in multiple positions, both on the board and committees and staff. And they make a tremendous difference on how well this organization runs. I'm really proud to have them on board, and I can't thank you enough for your time and your contributions. I would also like to acknowledge our founding sponsors and our mission sponsors. Without you, we literally probably would not exist. So thank you to all of you. The USBGF Online Master Point System recognizes those who accrued the most points in the USBGF Online Tournament Series. Rich Munitz, would you please come up and make our awards? Yeah.
So the USBGF Online Tournament Series is one of the great member benefits that we run continuously throughout the year. Anyone who's a member can play in these online tournaments, and we award master points for players who win matches throughout the year, and bonus points for those who place high in various events. It's very popular, and I'm very excited that this past year we've, just recently, we've launched a bunch of new tournaments, very exciting. The big one is an annual championship now, which we've had just short of 400 players involved in that, competing to win a spot in an ABT next year. So it's been very successful, great benefit of membership. So I'd like to acknowledge those people who have finished in the top 10 over the course of 2024. If you are here, please stand up and come forward. Okay, so starting with number 10, Irina Litzenberger, Konstantin Karatseliev, Sean Garber, Kevin Jones, Peter Wisniewski, Peter.
Coming up, Peter.
Come on up. We got a little something. Congratulations. Bill Lonergan, John Brown, and the winner last year by a mile, Roberto Litzenberger.
Yeah.
Sure. So while I'm up here, the next thing I'm going to present is the awards for the 2024 American Backgammon Tour. So this is kind of the premier awards that the USBGF gives out, are live tournaments. Those people who place in events like this earn points, and it's an annual points race to see who gets the most points over a calendar year. So we recognize the top finishers both in the open division as well as in the second tier division, or advanced, intermediate, whatever it might be called. So I will start with the awards for the advanced. Please come on up if you're here. Number 5, Scott Richardson. 4, Tommy Tallarico.
Put him up, put him up.
Oh, we did.
My last advance trophy.
Number 3, David Wu. 2, Jerry Unger. And number 1, also by a mile, with 25.23 ABT points, Vinny Ramirez.
Thank you.
This is kind of the hatchery for the open, you know, so I'm not going to have too many repeaters in this category. Okay, the 2024 Open ABT point leaders. Starting at number 10, Vinny Ramirez. Yes, you can play Division II and get recognized in the top 10 for the Open, because the Open is really across all levels. Well done. Number 9, we got some guy named Marty Storer. Well done, Marty. Number 8, Victor Ashkenazi. 7, Wilcox Snellings.
Accepting for Wilcox is Candace.
Wilcox is
Great to have Wilcox back at the game again. Number 6, Saba Benjamishvili. 5, Bill Kelton. 4, Jerry Tansey. Number 3, Alberto Chawaki. And number 2, Joe Urso. And number 1, guy who's been up here a few times, just a few, the all-time ABT points leader, Mr. Neil Kazaroff. Congratulations, Neil. Of course. Okay. Turn off their phone.
That's Neil Sampson.
I don't think he knows.
Okay, I've been up here a couple of times, but none of this would be possible without you, the players, and you, the directors. Let's go back. There's one person who is no longer with us, who was instrumental in founding the ABT, and that is Bill Davis. Bill unfortunately passed away this year, recently. Let's all give a brief moment of silence in honor of Bill Davis. Thank you, Bill, for all that you've done for Backgammon. And while recognizing those that helped found the ABT, we also have Carol Joy Cole and Pat Gibson, who were instrumental in its founding. Thank you.
Rest in peace, Bill Davis.
Thank you, Rich.
Good job, man.
I'll also say that the U.S. Backgammon Federation acquired the American Backgammon Tour in 2016. The goal of the acquisition was to achieve greater synergies between the USBGF and the major American backgammon tournaments. The ABT is a crown jewel of American backgammon, and the USBGF is honored to be entrusted in sustaining its legacy and significance. Every year, the USBGF recognizes, next we will recognize two people voted as Giants of Backgammon this year. Jake Jacobs, would you please come up and present the awards?
Oh, the certificate's up, oh,
Watch your head up there.
I'm only worried if I lie down. All right, we have three people, I believe. We have the number 22 Giant present. That would be a fellow you haven't seen yet tonight, Marty Storer. Oh wait, you have seen him. Marty, congratulations. Taking any pictures?
If you want to.
Smile, Marty.
Smile.
We also have number 18. I don't see the dog. Is Matt Cohn-Dyer here? Matt, congratulations.
The room.
And finally, we have the number one Giant, who's been the number one Giant all but one time when he was number two since, I don't know, dawn of creation, Mochi. Do you have Michi's certificate, or did he get that already? He got it in Chicago. He got the number one flag. Well done.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
The American Backgammon Hall of Fame recognizes those individuals who have achieved extraordinary playing results and/or have made extraordinary contributions to backgammon in the United States. Candidates are not limited to American citizens, provided they meet the eligibility requirements. Candidates to the Hall of Fame are individuals who, one, have a significant body of work over a very substantial period of time, defined as 20 years or more, as players, directors, authors, publishers, promoters, teachers, and/or innovators. 2, have realized exceptional accomplishments, that he or she has demonstrated remarkable skill through success over the board for decades, and/or gained achievements and recognition in the U.S. backgammon community over a long period of time. Nominations are taken from backgammon community at large. The nominations must include detailed justification for supporting the nomination, including notable awards and accomplishments, and a description of the nominee's significant body of work for backgammon in the United States. The nominations are vetted by the Hall of Fame Committee, and a ballot is created. Beginning in 2023, we established a Legacy Hall of Fame Committee. The members of this committee include the Hall of Fame plus Chris Frencher, Steve Sachs, and Art Benjamin, and Kit Woolsey. That's what I'm going to do. For inductance in the 2025 Hall of Fame, electors chose one inductee for the Legacy Committee and one for the Hall of Fame Committee. For inductance in the 2025 Hall of Fame, electors chose one inductee, and the Legacy chose one inductee. The electors are Hall of Fame inductees, the USBGF Board of Directors, and grandfathered electors. The following are previously inducted members of the Backgammon Hall of Fame Committee. In years past, I've read all of them. You'll find them in your program. This year, I decided instead of reading the entire list, I would just ask that we all stand and recognize the people that are here tonight. Art Benjamin, Carol Joy Cole, Karen Davis, Patrick Gibson, Neil Kazras, Mochi, Joe Russell, Steve Sachs, not here, and Kit Woolsey. Our first award this evening will be presented by Joe Russell and Morgan Simpson.
I'm going to repeat just a little bit of what John said because I've written a speech, so some of it's a little redundant. We're here today to honor this year's inductees, USBGF Hall of Fame. The first Hall of Fame class was inducted in 2015, and we've had the honor of inducting at least one person into the Hall of Fame in every calendar year since. The process of being elected to the Hall of Fame involves the membership nominating candidates being vetted by the Hall of Fame Committee, and a vote by the Hall of Fame electorate, which includes Hall of Fame members, the Board of Directors, and a few other honored players. I want to thank this year's Hall of Fame Committee. It's already been mentioned, so I'll mention your name again. Tonight, we're inducting two highly deserving people who have made an enormous impact on the backgammon community, Marty Storer and John Crawford. Start with John Crawford. Most of you may not know much about John Crawford other than he created the rule by which he has memorialized the Crawford rule and is used worldwide in match play. John Crawford was more than a rule maker. He was a vital participant in the popularization of backgammon with the jet set and helped usher in its heyday, along with Prince Alexis Obolenski. Many of you would probably not be playing backgammon today were it not for John Crawford. He was also a fine author and a multi-talented gamesman who was named Gamesman of the Year by one of the leading gaming publications of the day. In 1970, he co-authored the Backgammon book with his dear friend Oswald Jacoby, who was inducted into the original Hall of Fame class. They dedicated the book to the genius who invented the doubling cube and made backgammon the game that it is. In 1965, he won the International Tournament of Champions in the Bahamas, acclaimed as the best international tournament in the world at that time. In the last year of his life, 1976, he won the Western Championships in Palm Springs, the Coupe de Ville, and the Hawaiian Open Championship. To give you a personal insight to John Crawford, I would like to introduce Morgan Simpson.
Thank you, Joe. I am Morgan Simpson, and Johnny Crawford was my godfather, and he was also my best friend's godfather. So we grew up playing a lot of backgammon. Mr. Debonair was so savoir-faire. That's just, you can't take away from that. He was the closest likeness to Cary Grant in the international backgammon circuit. His elegant presence was the epitome of respect and commanded the presence of everyone in the room. Prince Alix Obolensky's daughter, Princess Anne, referred to him as the master of ceremonies. She said Johnny was a wonderful and dashing gentleman who promoted the game and was a celebrated host of the events. All of the distinguished players of that era had the greatest respect for him. Johnny Crawford's favorite expression was, "To his company, 3 is Schwett." And my mother, who didn't play backgammon, would say, "And 4 is bridge."
4's a what?
He, in August of '76, the Backgammon News regarded him as a gamesman of the world. His book was translated into 5 different languages. The co-author was Oswald Jacoby, who was a dear friend at the time. I just remember back in the 50s, down in Palm Beach and in Philadelphia, playing with this Big Bill Vogt, George Smith, my father, Jim Peterson from the Taboo restaurant, and they just were full of life. It was just a great place to be around. And anyway, I've learned 3 things that are the golden rules of speeches, and that is be short, be clever, and be seated.
To accept the award, please welcome his daughter, Ames Cushing. His grandson is also here, Thomas Cushing.
Thank you very much, Joe and Morgan. And Marty, congratulations on many awards this evening. Most of you did not know my father, so let me tell you a little bit about him. He was charming, witty, handsome, intuitive, fun, and very, very smart, with a great sense of humor. A numbers guy. As a young girl, shopping was always fun, watching Daddy add the cost of our items in his head while waiting patiently for our change before the salesperson had completed their first column of numbers. He loved games. Golf was one of his favorite, playing often at Deepdale Country Club and Newport Country Club, where he won several tournaments. Monthly poker games at the apartment, gin rummy, parcheesi, checkers, hearts, and of course bridge and backgammon, to name a few. He wrote a bridge column for the New York Times, as well as several books on card games, such as Samba, Canasta, Bridge, and his classic, How to Be a Consistent Winner in the Most Popular Card Games. He said in the introduction, "I have played nearly every kind of card game in nearly every part of the world. Always I have played for money, and sometimes for a lot of money." At 34, he was the youngest man ever to take his place among great card players. I can remember him sitting at his desk in New York, editing the Backgammon book, which he co-authored with Oswald Jacoby. I think he was most proud of this book. He credits Ozzie as his toughest opponent in all games. He loved to drive fast, usually terrifying the neighbors. Speed bumps were added, hoping to slow John Crawford down, but alas, that didn't really help. I always remember him being late and racing to JFK to catch a plane. This was especially challenging to a cab driver. He would offer him a large tip if he got to the airport on time. As far as I know, he never missed a flight. Daddy loved going to the theater. He especially liked musicals, followed by lunch or dinner at the 21 Club in New York, where his table in the bar, first one on the left, awaited him. Only once was he relegated to the second floor, which was a shock, but he did have his 4-year-old grandson with him at the time. He told this story for weeks. Can you imagine, he would say, who knew there was a second floor? I loved going to backgammon tournaments with my father when he was the auctioneer raising thousands of dollars for charity. In 1976, he was given an award from the American Heart Association for, and I quote, his sportsmanship and humanitarian efforts in participating in backgammon charities over the years. Daddy played bridge and backgammon with Ollie Kahn, Walter Annenberg, Hugh Hefner, and Omar Sharif, to name a few celebrities. He was a regular on the TV show What's My Line and a guest on the Johnny Carson show. He loved to bet on sports, imagine that, and almost anything else. I know he bet on whether I was going to have a son or daughter. He said a girl, I said a boy. This was one bet he lost. He has missed terribly, but with us in spirit. On behalf of my son Thomas, grandchildren Emma and Crawford, and my 6 sisters, we thank you very much for this lovely honor.
Where's the camera?
Where's Candace?
You left.
Photo?
Say what?
Photo. Thank you. Alex is
Our second award will be awarded by Karen Davis.
Is it okay? I tried to be.
Our next inductee is Marty Storer. Marty has been a class player for over 30 years. He won the first ABT tournament in 1993 and repeated as champion in 2022, demonstrating his preeminence over 30 years. Marty is on the short list of players to be considered the best in the U.S. Marty Storer is a distinguished world-class player. He's a BMAB Grandmaster, Class 1 with a PR rating of 3.21, one of only 3 Americans who have earned a G1 or G0 title. He is currently number 22 on the Johnson Backgammon and has been on the list since 2015. He won the 2022 American Backgammon Tour Player of the Year, as well as being the winner of the inaugural 1993 ABT, demonstrating his preeminence. Recent tournament victories: 2024, he won the Masters jackpot in St. Louis and Massachusetts. First in the consolation, the New York Metro with partner Kit Woolsey, he won the Los Angeles Open doubles. 2023, he won the Los Angeles Open, New York Metro Seniors, New York Metro doubles with partner Marianne Bowen, and the Connecticut Masters. In 2022, his wins included Michigan, Los Angeles Open Masters, Super Jackpot, the Viking Classic, and the Boston Masters. He was a team member of the winning U.S. team in the McGreal Cup in 2020, McGrill Cup U.S. team member in 2024, and a member of the WBF World Team Championship, U.S. team in the World Team Championships. Marty co-authored What's Your Game Plan? Backgammon Strategy in the Middle Game with Mary Hickey in 2011. In 2005, he published Backgammon Praxis, a 2-volume analysis of 3 matches played by Malcolm Bates. To tell you more about Marty, I would like to introduce Karen Davis.
Joe, with that litany of Marty's accomplishments, it's not surprising that I view him as amazingly brilliant. And yet he's willing to share his expertise, his knowledge with one and all. It's really been a rare privilege to work with him for 15 years on issues of Primetime Backgammon magazine. I still marvel at his scholarly analyses of matches between top flight players. He's clear, insightful, and maybe most importantly, kind. But he helps the readers see the brilliancies of players' play. This is a phrase I got from Bob Wachtel, which I guess is well known in the chess community. So sometimes we focus on errors and blunders, but Wachtel believes we ought to focus on all the great things they got right. And Marty does that in his, as well as making it clear why errors or blunders had the wrong concept. He is executive editor of the Primetime Backgammon magazine, which is published 4 times a year, and it's considered by many the finest game magazine in the world because of its consistent level of quality. He has personally written over 75 articles for the magazine since it started in September of 2010. Its readability, effectiveness, and overall high quality is a reflection of his dedicated and talented service. In my experience, there are great editors and there are great writers. Marty happens to be both. In addition to the articles he's written for Primetime Backgammon, Joe listed his various books, his book with Mary Hickey, his book on Malcolm Davis's matches. But he writes in a way that makes the analysis acceptable to players of all skill levels, with an occasional indulgence of humor. One of the reasons he's so good as an editor and an author is that he is so good as a player. And Joe has ticked off his distinguished world-class record and a dedicated contributor to the backgammon community. In addition to the points that Joe made, I would just say, anytime you look at the Chicago Point and Carol Cole's reporting of results of tournament, look for the Players' Cup BMAB, which I give credit to Mochi for really getting started, the Backgammon Masters awarding body. You will find Marty's name in every one of those that he attends. He either wins the event on the basis of win-loss, or he's #1 in PR. He's #1 in PR here at the Los Angeles Open Players Cup, which was just released today. And he won both the win-loss record and the PR record in Atlanta in being the first person in 2025 to get the Iron Legacy Star for his flawless play. Despite all of those accomplishments, he's amazingly generous with his time. He responds to questions from one and all, I particularly appreciated that he attends Women's World of Backgammon learning sessions and offers commentary on key matches. He has also given selflessly of service to the U.S. Backgammon Federation, serving 2 3-year terms on the board of directors as secretary, which is a somewhat thankless task, and as a member of the executive committee. He was recognized with the USBGF Lifetime Achievement Award in 2022 for his selfless service. So it's a thrill to see him inducted tonight into the American Backgammon Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Marty, would you come up?
It doesn't work, okay, well, I got a good set of pipes here, so I can project if I need to. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for, as Neil said, thank you to all the players who make such a community possible. All the directors, all of those who had the vision to, like Bill Davis, rest in peace, to start the American Backgammon Tour. Bill Riles was instrumental in instituting the Hall of Fame. And without all the people who contribute their time and effort just to running these events and getting great things going, like the Players Cup, the American Backgammon Tour. Alex Asagian makes countless videos that you can see on YouTube. It's all great stuff. Matt Patterson's back there. He's a dedicated USBGF guy. Ben Friesen. There's a, I want to recognize, it's not only these great figures, but all the little people. Okay, so John Perner, just extend stand to your full height, and Ben Friesen, they're inhibited to stand up because the short people and all that, they're just embarrassed sometimes. But at all 6'5", 6'6", that's yesterday's 7 feet, I guess. But all right, so. The USBGF has been around since 2009, right? People were in great talks about, let's get a Backgammon Federation going, let's coordinate all these activities. And I remember at I think it was Novi of 2009, Karen Davis was there trying to drum up membership. Said, what do you think? We're going to have this US Backgammon Federation. And I thought, I remember all the chess associations of days of yore, the Continental Chess Association. And they all demanded membership fees, but you didn't get much, but they were running tournaments, but there wasn't the coordination that I see here today. And thanks to the people who had the vision to just get the federation going, Karen and Perry Gartner, Phil Simborg, there were a whole bunch of them, but it was a while ago now. But I was very skeptical about it. But then I started seeing the energy that was flowing out of it. I said, I should get involved in this thing somehow. And Karen said, well, would you like to write for the magazine? I said, sure, I'd love to. I'd love to do that. And one of the first projects I had was analyzing a match that had been played between Ray Fogerland and Ed O'Loughlin. Now, Ed O'Loughlin, rest in peace, he's a Hall of Fame member. And he unfortunately passed away last year. But this match was played between Ray Fogerland. Ray Fogerland was winning a lot of matches back then, winning a lot of tournaments, and Ed was too. And we thought, okay, this is a great contest to look at. See what kind of moves they're making and why. And I called up Ed on the telephone and said, Ed, I want to get you involved with this as well as Ray, and we can all make sure we're on the same page when I write something. I don't want to just write something and you think I'm full of hot air or something like that. You want to catch me before I emit that hot air. So Ed O'Loughlin said, I don't know, Marty. He goes, that Ray, he's an ornery guy. You got to watch out. I said, poo-poo, you know, I'm not going to offend anybody. This is all about backgammon, right? Who the heck cares about all this other stuff? I'm just interested to see what they played and why, and maybe I can understand what's going on better. Like some people say, oh, Ray's PR is really bad, and she's just lucky. It's like, well, okay, so he wins all the time. So why is he so lucky? He's lucky enough to complicate the game and get people to choke. That's what he was doing all those years, right? He'd just get the cube up to 4 and you know, and watch people get nervous and make the wrong decisions, either conservative or they redouble too soon or what have you. And he would win way more than his performance rating per XG would predict. But that's backgammon. That's the way it all goes, and it's very hard to look at your opponent and say, okay, I'm going to change my plan here based on what I think my opponent is thinking or will do, right? And Ray was great at that. And it's sort of my privilege just to look at all these matches. They're all on YouTube, the USBGF channel on YouTube, right? You can see stream matches from everywhere. I just got, and Backgammon Masters awarding body, I just got a zip file of all the matches played in Atlanta for the Backgammon Masters awarding body tournament. All the matches played, right? And I said, oh, and someone said, oh, I want to start up lessons with you. And I said, okay, sure. And I said, well, where better to start than some of the matches I just got in the zip file. So I think I've got one running now, and you know, we'll see it pretty soon. But I just feel like I'm so privileged. I'm standing here. Okay, I played a lot of backgammon. I accomplished a few things. I wrote some books, you know, I won some tournaments. Okay, but without the community of people, without the dedicated people doing their thing, there wouldn't be any backgammon community like this, right? And if the U.S. Backgammon Federation were to go away, it'd be a tragedy. But luckily, we're reaching out. We standardized the rules worldwide with the World Backgammon Federation. And people like Rich Munitz in the Rules Committee, guru, you know, writes a column for Primetime Backgammon and says, what's the ruling? I said to him, you should have been a lawyer, Rich. And I said, but I want you to know I mean that in the best sense of the word. Okay, not. And so, like, what's the difference between a dead skunk in the road and a dead lawyer in the road? And the old joke, well, there's skid marks leading up to the skunk. But that, what's the difference between 5,000? What do you call 5,000 dead lawyers at the bottom of the ocean? Oh, a promising start. But that's all I said. Well, no, Rich, I mean it. I respect the law profession. I respect Rich very much. And Rich is one of those guys who works on those rules and he gets them down pat. And he works with the international folk and gets, we're really coming together with the rest of the world in a political time where everything's fractured. I mean, people are all at each other's throats about this stuff, international relations and everything else. Who's going to control the Arctic Ocean seaways? It's all, things look dim. But when I see that people from different cultures, from the Middle East, from the West, from Europe, from Japan, Asia, I see how everyone subordinates their ego to the greater good of backgammon. That's what I think the U.S. Backgammon Federation is about. And I want to thank everybody here for contributing their presence and their positive energy to the sport. Thank you very much.
That concludes our program tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Marty?